from Japan. We are here in a park in Ikebukuro, about to have a meeting over here at this little restaurant over here with my boss and uh, a visitor who's coming in. But just want to give you guys a quick update about what's going on here in Japan. As you can see, it's starting to be fall here in Tokyo, and yeah, it's exciting to finally have some cooler temperatures and not be sweating every time you go outside in this big city. But yeah, we had a really good meeting last month with that pastor I told you about on my update post. Lots of really good things coming up. Lots of opportunity for ministry. Lots of opportunity for us to help be catalysts in this local church in Japan. It's going to be probably our main outlet for ministry, which is really, really good, considering our primary jobs are very busy. A lot of computer work, office work, meetings, things like that. So to be able to have the opportunity to have some solid traditional ministry is really special for us. So this church also has a kindergarten, and that's kind of the main pool of lost people that we're trying to reach through this church at this time. That's the current strategy. We're going to be focusing on those people first because it's a natural avenue for us to be able to do that. So the parents come and since it's a Christian kindergarten, they participate in a weekly service that obviously is a Christian thing. They get to hear about the gospel. They hear simple children's stories about the gospel. Like when we went in and had this meeting just before, we popped in and checked out the kindergarten, and we were able to see part of that service. And the pastor was reading a children's book. It was an illustrated book about lost sheep. And it was really fun seeing the kids engage with that. And at the end of that book, the sheep are celebrating. And so the pastor had the kids celebrate like sheep, going, meh, meh. So that's pretty cool. It was really fun to see that. And the parents are there. And so it's a very natural avenue for us to be able to connect. Now that we're parents, it's really awesome to be able to do that. So lots of other fantastic opportunities. Before COVID, the church had bought a lot of coffee-related stuff. They wanted to go do mobile coffee ministries, similar to what we were doing with the Olympics, like you might have been seeing before, called Echo Project. So basically, going out to the public, having coffee, connecting with people. Due to this crazy thing that's been happening here in Japan has been unfolding over the last couple months since the previous Prime Minister Abe was shot because of Unification Church cult issues. Now that's made a bit of a stigma for churches that they feel they're trying to get over. So we're going to be helping them with that. But first starting at the church and then later doing that. But with the coffee stuff, we're able to do coffee ministry on the church campus and gear it towards these parents and to be speaking in Japanese, having gospel conversations, things like that. So that's one avenue. I'm going to be having an opportunity to be doing some discipleship with young men specifically, using this material called Healthy Disciple. And it helps people think through comprehensively what it means to be a healthy disciple. And so these young men particularly have expressed a desire to pursue full-time ministry or substantial ministry in their life long term. So this is going to be a great start group at the church to do that with. And there's just so much more that's unfolding, and we can unpack later, but it's really, really good. We're really excited for what's going to be happening. So please be praying for this church. Please be praying that we are able to have influence. We're going to start off as church members, and the pastor has a desire for us to be integrated more into leadership meetings and things like that as time goes by. We need to start on the ground level first, essentially. Start just as a normal member. We need to be known. We need to build relationships. We need to do that kind of stuff. So we're going to start there, and we're going to build trust, build legitimate trust, not just for the sake of going leadership things, but to have influence and have meaningful discipleship and influence, really, is really the word for it, in a good way. And then we'll put on our missionary hats and bring to the table the things that we really have. We'll start with little pieces. Start with the discipleship group for guys. Start with some of this coffee ministry. Have church members join us in these things, and then build from there. And then later down the road, we'll have opportunity to share ideas and materials and ways of doing things that this church pastor wants to move towards. So, for example, this church is still very old school Southern Baptist, Sunday school, only on Sunday morning. That's the way to do it. That way is the way many people feel. Pastor wants to push the envelope and go to small groups and figure out how we can be meeting throughout the week and things like that. There doesn't seem to be a healthy model for that as far as this pastor is concerned. So he's decided we need to set that standard, and others will follow. And this pastor is very influential, so he'll have positive influence on the rest of the community as well of pastors in the convention. So it's a really exciting place to start and launch from in the long term as far as local ministry goes. It's going to be an opportunity for when our mission teams come, a great place to plug in and be helpful and have meaningful work to do. So that's just a piece of it. Jotham turned 3 months old this week. He is a happy, social little boy. He can sit there and talk for, a handful of minutes at a time, just blabbering. And it's so much fun. We love him so much. He's doing really good. He had his first vaccinations, had 2 shots and 1 consumable. Took him like a champ. He had no problem doing that. So that was really good. Beyond that, Tara and I were still figuring out this whole dynamic of full-time work and being good parents. Finding that trade-off. I have a more typical full-time job. Tara does have a role and job that she's doing, but the hour expectation is much lower, but it's still enough for us to be able to figure out how do we do this well? How do we balance this out? So please be praying for that. Looking forward to this month. We have this thing called Mission Lab. We're piloting. It's a program where we're doing the first block in the morning is like classroom style. We call them sessions, where we're talking about 3 different major buckets: Japan culture and its mission and its influence on what we're doing, our strategy, and then practice. So strategy is where our mission and vision is, how that influences what we do. And then the practice is learning practical tools, like maybe a gospel sharing tool, or how we do this one particular kind of ministry and that kind of thing. Then in the afternoon is a ministry practicum block. So we're going out and we're doing a ministry. So it's kind of a just-in-time training and doing. We're piloting that next week with a group of pastors from the Hawaii Pacific Baptist Convention and 1 pastor from Tennessee. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work. We just refurbished a brand new a building that we already owned. We refurbished it for to become a training center, and it has dorms and meeting space and tech and all that kind of stuff. So we're really excited about how that's going to be usable. We're finished with setting it up for the most part, getting internet and other things like that sorted out, but it's really exciting. And then beyond that, the rest of this month in November, got Thanksgiving, all that good stuff. We're going to take some time off. It's going to be really good. Going to have some Thanksgiving fellowship with our teammates in Tokyo and other great opportunities like that. So lastly, we want to say a huge thanks for your contributions, both financially and in prayer. Thank you so much for praying for us, because this work doesn't happen without the prayer. Thank you so much for giving, because God uses that giving and multiplies it for ministry. It helps us pay for materials like Healthy Disciple. It helps us pay for the gas and the parking to be able to go to that church. It helps us to be able to afford the things we need to for JoJo and so many other things. So thank you so much for giving. Now that the 2021 and 2022 Lottie Moon is over, that's complete. We're starting a new season, 2022-2023, for a Lottie Moon Christmas offering. So we want to invite you to give. There's also ways to pray in this Lottie Moon Christmas offering season. 100% of the Lottie Moon Christmas offering goes to the IMB, and it helps us do what we do. So please know that when you give, it's 100% going to the field. We thank you so much for giving and praying, and we can't wait to see many of you over the next couple of years now that Japan's opened up. You're going to come on mission teams, come individually. We're so thankful. Your support is so meaningful to us, and we're excited to see you here in Japan. We love you very much, and hopefully we'll have another great update video like this next month. We'll see you soon. Bye.